Do you remember those old CGI cartoons of the late 90s and early 2000s? Well, I remember them all too well. Some of these are actually really good, but let's talk about the long and strange history that they've had. (1993). Veggietales proved us all wrong, saying that CGI was not only for the big blockbuster movies, it was for everything. This one didn't have insane detail, but it was a start, and this is something that people will recognize. The first ever time that CGI was used in a big blockbuster movie to a huge point was in Crow, The Crow, when tragically the actor Brandon Lee passed away on set. They had to CGI his face on, which is still a practice used today, and hold up, Mandalorian spoilers coming in the next couple seconds. Skip. Like they did with Luke Skywalker, to bring him back. The first ever show was in the 1994s. That was Jimmy Neutron. That was the start of it all. A brand new thing. A different thing. Something that's still quite popular and proved everyone wrong, that CGI was the way of the future and that kids are gonna like it. And a lot of big blockbuster studios recognize this with their huge franchises. The first one to ever make a mark was my favorite one at the time. Beast Wars. Beast Wars, the sequel to the Transformers G1 series in the 80s, which was all hand-drawn. This was gonna be the new thing. It was not only the characters from the original one, rebooted of course, but it was really their hearts, also rebooted a little bit. And it was in a totally new style. This was the way of the future. And not only did they know it, George Lucas knew it. With the end of the 90s was the Phantom Menace. The first of the new decade of Star Wars movies. The first of the new precedent of CGI. And that precedent continued into the 2000s. And Warner Brothers did not waste any time. They jumped on the train for CGI with Batman, Beware the Batman, which only lasted one season, sadly. You'll know that's a trend with this new style. It wasn't loved by fans. It was weird, and even watching it today, it's weird. That's why the Green Lantern show only has one season. Even though I think this is one of the better series coming out of the 2000s and 90s. And all of this, the new style, was to separate this from one thing. The DCAU. A life-blowing force that shouldn't have worked, but did. Immensely. It knocked everything out of the park. If it wasn't continuity, it wasn't going to happen. But they still made the Beware the Batman. And not only did it prove people wrong in being such a different take on the Batman and a different take on the world, but it had to do a different art style. This has been shown all too much with the Batman Gotham Adventures sequel comics being scrapped in replacement for the Batman comics. That way, readers wouldn't get confused, and that makes sense. So this animation style was changed all suddenly and made into this 3D CGI thing that most people hate. And the reason is a lot more simpler than you might think. Well, the old Teen Titans show suffered from looking too much like it's a part of the DCAU. That was a big thing that they had to specify, and that's why when it was brought back, quote-unquote, brought back, it's such a departure from the normal animation style and from its old style, even though it has the same voice cast and same characters. Exactly the same characters. I mean, really, why they... Never mind. But CGI has never left our grasps. Toy Story was one of the first ever big movies to use it, and Soul is the newest one to use it. Not only has this looked so groundbreakingly realistic that I'm like, why didn't they just use humans? It does feel that CGI is advancing faster than we can know. This is not a complete history of CGI, but it's just the important moments. Hi everyone, Rodimus2099. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, please comment below. I'd really appreciate it. What's your favorite show that's made with CGI? Cartoon show that's made with CGI? I think Transformers Prime or the Green Lantern series is. I'm re-watching it, and I'm probably going to do some videos on it. Along with, here's the schedule.